Redditors that have gone on Tinder dates, what was your worst and weirdest experiences? He made me watch his homemade rap videos and tried to like his own FB page on my phone. This might have been the most painful one to read on here. Met at a coffee shop. Sir early. I order my drink. Sit down. She looks at me and this is her first sentence. Let's cut to the chase. I need a father for my 4 sons. Apostrophe. I got up and left. I met a girl for a date who turned out to be much better looking than her photos, which is always a nice surprise. The date went well. Just dinner and a walk. And we said our goodbyes. The next day she invited me out to a friend's birthday party downtown as her +1. I wanted to go, but I had to work the next day and wanted to be able to drink a little since it was a bunch of people I didn't know. She said that's alright. You can park at my house and sleep over. Chatting. So, of course, I said yes. Fast forward to the middle of the party. I'm enjoying myself chatting it up with her friends and having a good time, and next thing I know she absolutely loses it and storms out of the bar, leaving me there, drunk, with her friends. I still have no idea why. One of them told me she wants you to go after her, and I said fuck that. It's our second date, which not a single person blamed me for. I stayed at the party and switched to water while I continued talking with her friends. That was over a year ago, and I still regularly hang out with them. They have since stopped talking to her. TL. Doctor no sex, but got to keep all her friends. Not me, but my friend went on a really great Tinder date a few months ago. She said they really seemed to hit it off. They got some margaritas, had a fun but very deep conversation about life and other philosophical things, and then made out a little bit. She didn't hear from him the rest of the weekend, which felt odd. BC she had such a great feeling about him. She usually has a great radar with these things. She ended up stalking him on Facebook to see what he was up to. He killed himself. Edit. Elaborated on his death. She was lying about her age and wanted a baby immediately. We went out for drinks, then walked around the park, and was an enjoyable date. I took her home and parked next to her apt. She said I shouldn't park there because I'll get towed. I said I only need 3 minutes to walk you to your door. She said seriously, you should park in visitors since you can stay all night and not get towed. I responded that I only need 3 minutes to walk you to your door. I'm not a smart man. We went to her place, ate mushrooms and had sex. She was a biter, and it was like having sex with a giant spider. Needless to say I didn't have a great time, and she kicked me out. I sat in my car outside for 2 long hours tripping on mushrooms, trying to come to terms with what felt like dying. Woke up the next morning with large bite marks. Never do mushrooms with strange Tinder girls. Met with a girl who ended up being 16. I was 18 at the time. She told me how on her last date the guy drove her to a secluded area and told her she had to give him head or he won't drive her home, and she asked me not to do that to her. I took her home immediately. Never met another girl online again. My profile pic is a toilet. The first time I met a girl we actually talked about toilets for an hour. Not an awful date, but after I told him I wasn't interested in pursuing it further, he insisted that I left my socks at his place and I had to get them because they look like really nice socks and I'm sure you would want them back. This went on for several days. Edit. Obviously it was a weird ploy to get me back to his house. I just think he could have thought of something way better. I mean, it was winter, so clearly I put my socks and shoes back on before leaving. He showed up with his iPhone on a lanyard around his neck, but he introduced me to Reddit, so I guess it went okay. Edit. I'd love to find out if you/Bootsaurus is really this guy. We are friends on Facebook still, so he should be able to confirm. And I should really thank him cause I met my fiance on Reddit and he is in the process of moving halfway around the world for me. Edit 2. Just messaged the real guy. It's definitely not you/Bootsaurus. I know I'm late to the party, but man do I have a doozy! Exclamation mark. So last year, after getting out of a horrible sort of relationship, I decided to try something casual and used Tinder. Got lots of responses. Everything is going well. The dates were mostly lackluster and I figured I was just being too picky. So I decided the next 5 people to ask me on a date gets a yes. Apostrophe. Bad move. So the first guy I'm able to go on a date with wants me to drive into the city, 45 minutes away, so we would has more stuff to do. Annoying but sorta understandable as I'm in a suburb without much exciting things to do. We meet. He looks like his pictures. We say hello, and he tells me that we are gonna go play soccer in the park. Cool. I love sports. On the way we start talking and asking questions about each other, and I'm getting the vibe we aren't such a great match. I love to travel. He has zero desire. He only likes obscure sports. I love them all. But hey, I'm here. Stick with it. The entire time he talks about how he makes so much money and how embarrassing it is for his friend to only make 60k a year at his dream job. I make half of that. I would have left considering the love connection, or lack thereof, but I figured I'd be polite until after lunch. We head out and we arrive. Dollar Taco, which don't get me wrong, you don't have to splurge. But he looked me up and down and said you gotta earn your meals first and gave me a creepy ducking smile. Nope. I feign a fake phone call and have to leave, but he insists on walking me to my car. We get there and I try to shrug him off and GTFO, but then it happens. He leans in for a kiss, but not just any kiss. Open mouth, tongue out, and as he leans in, his crotch brushes against my leg. Unfortunately for him, the soccer shorts didn't conceal his raging hard-on, so I did what any caught off guard girl would do. I accidentally laughed in his mouth. Oops, I was too awkward to say anything and just got in the car, driving away. Friend from class matched with my then girlfriend, now ex. He informed me of the match and proceeded to set up a coffee date. Instead of him showing up to the date, I did. I had the pleasure of watching my girlfriend freak the duck out. Met up for a coffee after having quite a nice chat over Tinder for a few days. He sits down and says, "Hey, nice to meet you." Then continues to pull out his laptop and sit there in complete silence for the next hour. I had nothing with me but my phone. Since I thought coffee date means conversation. Should left sooner. Edit. Did not expect replies. Went to sleep, sorry. 3. Hope I'm not too late to this party. I went on a date with this guy, who I thought was pretty level-headed. We had dinner, coffee and said our goodbyes. On the date, they consistently spoke about Michigan. Michigan is better than Chicago this way. The people in Michigan are so much nicer than the ones from your home state. We are the smartest in the nation. Etc. 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 The only times they broke away from the subject of Michigan was to talk about how inadequate I was with my career, health and love life. They even said, "I can tell you are trying to be funny, but it's not working." Apostrophe. Later that night, once they dropped me off, they went on to text me saying, "Hey, I enjoyed our time together, but you're a bit wider than I was expecting." I understood his comment and decided not to reply back. 20 minutes later, I receive other texts from him saying, "It's okay, though. I would love for you to get bigger. I want to help you gain as much weight as possible. I love dating fat people." To top it off, his last text was, "You'll need all that fat when you move to Michigan." Apostrophe. Fuck you, Michigan. Edit. Grammar. Wow. What's worse? My grandma on allergy medication or my lack of noticing my grandma on caffeine? Edit again. The date found out about this post and we talked it out. After talking with them, we have reached an understanding to both sides of the story. I wasn't expecting Reddit to give me closure about a date months later. Yay for a satisfying ending. Met one charmer after talking for a few weeks. After agreeing to meet at a nearby coffee shop, I show up right on time. 10 minutes later I get a text from him to come outside. Seems sketchy, but there's people about, so why not? I stand directly in front and he appears out of nowhere in a hoodie. We walk a bit before he asks me to walk down a darkly lit street. I say I'm uncomfortable and he immediately starts waking away. I assume he's joking and call him, only to hear him screaming at me on the other end. He sends me a text a couple of days later insulting my hair and telling me to suck my big dick, unigress bitch. Apostrophe. TL. Dr. Guy wanted to dame me, then proceeded to call me racist slurs. Thank you, internet. I got matched with a friend of mine I was really interested in and everything was really cool. We ended up dating for a couple months after the first night we spent together. Then she slept with one of my best friends. That wasn't really cool. My first date with this guy would have been his cat's funeral. Luckily I had the common sense not to take it that far. I had matched with a guy and we began to be hitting it off. So I gave him my cell number. And of course he became increasingly strange. He was telling me about his cat and how he was worried about her because she was very ill. Okay, I understand. Having a sick pet is sad. Then he began to tell me about their relationship and how she was always there for him. Yup, I'm close to my animals too, that's fine. But then he began discussing how he doesn't know what to do if his cat dies. How he might kill himself unless I would be willing to take his cat's place. No. After that I stopped talking to him. He then started messaging me furiously. He told me how his cat died and he needs me to talk him through this. I express my condolences and try to shake him off. He then proceeds to explain how we should meet at his cat's funeral. I don't respond. I didn't intend on becoming a skinsuit anytime soon. His last text to me was an angry ramble describing in graphic detail how it was to eat his cat's ashes. Exclamation mark. He consumed his cat. Edit. I come back days later and this blew up. I wish this didn't happen but it did. Unfortunately. I would link a screenshot, but I deleted my Tinder after I met my current boyfriend. 1. Tinder nightmare. Went on the date. 5 minutes into the conversation he flips it to 9/11 conspiracy theories and doesn't drop it even after I explicitly state that the conversation is inappropriate. Told him later by text that I didn't think we were that compatible. Cue 2 months of 3 AM phone calls where he pretends to be a furniture/renovation company that had problems delivering my order. 2. When I was someone's Tinder nightmare, got way too drunk, puked on myself. Total blackout. Edit. Thank you for all your hilarious input. This definitely made my day. Moving forward, I promise to uphold my 2-date legacy of Tinder nightmares. To clarify, I asked politely for the subject to be changed before letting him know it was inappropriate. For those who commenters who have expressed it doesn't sit well with them, I guess it's good we are not dating. First date is going well. She's way out of my league and seems very much into me. Later, we are back at my place. After dinner and making out on the couch a little, we head into the bedroom and the clothes are coming off. Just as I'm about to slip it in, she says, "Wait, what? You should know. I have herpes." Very funny. No, I really do. And I'm in the middle of an outbreak. You're joking. I'm not. Do you need a minute? Being fairly herpes naive, I reply. Close bracket. Yup. I go out to my porch and sit down on a chair. After a minute, I can hear her crying in my bedroom. She dresses and comes out. She asks me if I need time to think. I tell her that I do. We talk a little about other things. I drive her home and then spend the weekend. Completely torn up, weighing my options. Is she worth getting herpes over? You've only known her for 6 hours. Ultimately, I go out with her a few more times, and it turns out, not only does she have the herpes, but she's batshit crazy. I dump her. She tries to kill herself. Another hilarious story in and of itself. And I test negative for herpes. Back to the drawing board. We went on 3 or 4 dates. I, 30, was starting to get feelings and liked this girl, 25. On our 4th date, she asked if I could watch her cat while she was moving apartments. I'm not a fan of cats, sorry Reddit, but I'm a nice guy and kept the cat in my home office. Long story short, she doesn't answer her phone for over a week and only picks up her cat when I send a message saying it's going to the local shelter within 24 hours. Fucking Tinder. Matched with this guy. We talked for a little bit and we didn't really seem to have anything in common, so I didn't plan on going out with him. When I finally did decline, he threw a fit and pestered me, promising a lovely night out and to just give him a chance. That should have been my first clue. Now, at this point in my life, I was admittedly very picky about guys I'd go out with. And this guy as well as my roommates encouraged me to just go because maybe I'm missing out on nice people. Fine. We go to sushi. No attraction. Nothing in common. Horrible conversation. Every time I tried to lead with a subject, he ended it. What's your favorite restaurant? I don't know. Dude, did you play any sports? No, the conversation was a dead end at every turn. Had a terrible time. Good sushi, though. I insisted I pay half the bill. And we walked out. Then he grabbed me by the arm aggressively, insisting we go to Starbucks for coffee. I said no thank you. I just ate. I'm very full. I have a test tomorrow. Whatever. But he literally overpowered me and pulled me in and sat us down at a table. Now I was freaked out. We sat awkwardly, silently. I asked, are you getting coffee? Or? He smiled and said no. I don't want any. I said okay. So why are we? He slipped his hand between my thighs and credit carded me under the table. I was mortified and moved away. I said I'm going to go home now. I thank God I drove separately. As I got to my car, he asked, so when can we go out again? I almost laughed at him, but I was polite because I'm a huge pussy. I said, well, you're very nice, Lee, but we don't have much in common and I didn't really feel the chemistry. But thanks for showing me a new sushi restore. You fucking cunt. You're just the same as all women. I thought you were different. You dumb bimbo piece of shit. Fuck you. I got in my car and left. When I got home I had many texts from him and his roommate. From date guy, I got a lot of fuck you, and from the roommate I got a few angry/concerned ones like my roommate came home really upset and pissed. What the duck did you do to him? You're a bitch. I literally had no idea people could be like that. It really soured my Tinder experience, but I had fun laughing at the texts with my own roommates. Edit. Credit carded means he swiped up my lady bits with a flat hand. Like a credit card in a slot. Please subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more of Reddit universe.